A lot to talk about, and let's break it all down with our political analyst, also professor of political science at Cypress College, Peter Mathews, plus our CNN law enforcement contributor and retired supervisory special agent at the FBI, Steve Moore. Gentlemen, good to have you both with us this hour. And what an hour it is, as these big stories tend to break on a Friday night, going into focus right here. The first question that many people may wake up to ask: is this politically motivated, or was this a fair move? Now, the President of the United States has chimed in on this on Twitter here within the last few hours. Let's read this quote from the President, where he says, "Andrew McCabe fired. A great day for the hardworking men and women of the FBI. A great day for democracy. Sanctimonious James Comey was his boss and made McCabe look like a choir boy. He knew all about the lies and corruption going on at the highest levels of the FBI." So the question, gentlemen, Steve, first to you, given that tweet, does this look to be fair or personal?
Well, leaving the tweet aside, it's kind of distasteful. But as an FBI agent, this is the only thing that's made sense to me since this whole thing started, when Comey started talking about the Hillary Clinton emails. From day one at the Academy, it is drummed into us that if you ever lie, if you ever even have a shortfall of candor during an internal FBI investigation, you're gone. They used to say, if you're going to rip us off for $25 million, not $25, because we'll fire you for either. They fire dozens of agents a year for candor violations. And so this, I mean, he knew you do not even shade the truth in an FBI investigation internally.
All right, you know, McCabe saying that he was not misleading to investigators. But Peter, the same question to you. Does this look to be fair or personal?
I think there's definitely a political side to it as well. I know what was said a little while ago is fine. It's true about the shortfall of candor, but the political side is the president has never left McCabe alone for the last several months, and he's been hammering him for a long time. And that interference, political interference on a legal question, an issue of integrity of the FBI, it actually was not very good for the organization itself. And you saw him, actually the president, slamming the FBI leadership. And that's not good for the United States, for the people of America that look up the FBI's integrity, and that's so important. So we'll have to wait and see what the details of this report were. McCabe did say that once the report came out, once he actually finished the report, the witnessing, then his testimony, then what happened was it was indicative that he was going to go ahead and corroborate Comey's testimony about it, Comey's claim that he corroborated everything that President Trump was interfering. So what was happening was it looked like the president wanted to put pressure on McCabe and on the FBI itself. That's not good. We have to have law enforcement be independent of the political side of the president.
All right, and all of this related, of course, to what happened allegedly in 2016 of October. McCabe allegedly authorizing information to be leaked to a reporter of the Wall Street Journal. McCabe himself, he is speaking out. Here's what he had to say in a quote. He says, "Here is the reality. I am being singled out and treated this way because of the role I played, the actions I took, and the events I witnessed in the aftermath of the firing of James Comey." But, you know, we see McCabe again speaking freely here. What difference will that make, Peter? First to you, this question. What difference will it make with the overall investigation?
It'll make a difference in the public perception of the investigation, of the fairness of it, of the politicization of it or the lack thereof. That's what's important, is how the public perceives it as well, because we do have elections coming up. And this is a big political act, unfortunately, as many of the FBI agents don't want it to be political. Nevertheless, it's become political, unfortunately, and I think the president has a lot to blame here in his interference, in a sense. So I think it has to do with the public perception of this as well. I'll let the other gentleman deal with the legal aspect, the FBI aspect of it.
All right, Steve, this question to you as well. You know that you can't speak publicly unless you're authorized to do so. We're seeing McCabe do that right now, make his points very clear. What difference do you think it'll make with this investigation?
Well, I agree. I think it'll make only a public difference. It's not going to make a difference of opinion at all in the FBI. And again, I'm not saying that there wasn't politics going on here and that this might not have been a hit. Whatever it was, what I am saying, though, is if you lie or don't even give the full truth in an internal FBI investigation, you're gone. Every agent knows that. And so if they were after him, he certainly served himself up on a platter with this one. And the agents are not going to feel too sorry for him, although Trump gloating over the body is really kind of really sad.
But the allegation, again, that McCabe was not completely truthful with the information, that is front and center here, and the reason for what is happening at this point. But let's talk about the optics. And Steve, I want to ask you this question. We're talking about a man who has put in a great deal of time, his public service, and now fired 2 days shy of his retirement. In fact, 2 days shy of his birthday, Steve. The optics there.
Yeah, we all retire on our 50th birthday. I understand the optics are bad here, but there are two sides to it. It is either, in some people's eyes, the view that Trump was going after this guy and wanted to get him before he got out the door. The other view is that when an FBI agent of any level, any rank, lies, if he had retired, there's really nothing you can do. It's the integrity of the Bureau to go after him. That's the other view. So people are going to differ on this, and all I want to tell the public out there is, regardless of what happened politically, if he did lie, and by the way, OPR, I've done OPR investigations, for them to believe that he misled them intentionally, they really had to, they know what it was going to cost him. They empathized, but they went after him, and they are not the president.
Peter, one other question to you, talking about McCabe, who has certainly been a lightning rod for the president on the Mueller investigation. The president tweeting about McCabe several times, one tweet asking why Sessions didn't replace McCabe sooner. As in this example, you see, why didn't AG Sessions replace acting FBI Director Andrew McCabe, a Comey friend who was in charge of Clinton investigation but got big dollars, $700,000, for his wife's political run from Hillary Clinton and her representatives? Drain the swamp, says the president. Peter, the question, as McCabe's star goes down for the moment, does Sessions' star rise?
Not necessarily. It depends how this whole thing plays out in the end. And the fact is that it is true. McCabe's wife ran for state senate and received a lot of money from Terry McAuliffe, who's a very close Clinton confidant and the Virginia governor. And this doesn't look good at all for dollar democracy, which I wrote my book about, the apparent corruption of money in politics. But in this case, McCabe also had every right, his wife had a right to run for the state senate, despite the fact where her husband was. But there's a perception of this conflict of interest or some kind of untoward appearance, which should have been avoided at any cost if possible. And I'm not sure what McCabe could have done, actually, but maybe recuse himself from the whole situation. We'll have to look and see what happens in the end over this and see how the results turn up.
Peter Mathews and Steve Moore, thank you so much.
Thank you.